Hey guys, I'm going to talk about isometric holds. So these are things like planks, bridge planks, side planks, things like that. Not necessarily as a core drill, but as a toughness builder. So what I find is lack of awareness of the body or lack of strength in being able to hold a posture to perform an exercise is actually a huge problem. So some of the best core work can actually be some face down stuff, except that would preclude that I have to be able to hold the push-up position for the length that it's going to take me to do the set of that exercise. So let's back it up a little bit, and I'm going to show you my top 5 isometric hold drills, either for posture or for helping you create a contraction in the muscle, like in the strict sense of a glute. So my first one is a push-up plank. I'll post some times below that I would generally prescribe, but in a push-up plank I'm going to work towards a 1-minute hold. So my big thing is I'm going to get my wrist to be underneath my armpit, and I'm going to suck the shoulders in a little bit. Okay, I don't have to turn my hands, but I want to pinch my armpit. That's super important. So armpits over the wrist, and toes are right together. I'm going to suck the armpit in, and I'm going to try to get my tailbone, shoulders, and head to be about the same height. Work on how stiff you can be. If you know what a pelvis tuck is, tuck the pelvis. Okay, it's a good way of going. Rhomboid retractions, sometimes they're called Batmans, I just don't like the name of that. Rhomboid retractions, I think we should all do frequently. Anybody have any knots between their shoulder blade that bug the hell out of them? You need to do a lot of this, okay? So retraction is me pulling back the shoulder as hard as possible. Now here's the thing. Different body types need to do retractions and rhomboid squeezes at different angles. Don't always do it flat. Don't always do it incline. Don't always do it high incline. Most guys could stand to do some trap work or some trap retention from a high vertical angle. So pulling myself this way may not be a bad thing. Women, you definitely don't need to do too much of that because you already have too much tension in your upper traps. Okay? But I could use some shoulder blade squeeze, and I could use some of the lat. What's important is that you're not actually using your lower back to do this. So I'm going to be on a bench. I got my trusty pink dumbbells. You really don't need to use a lot of weight on these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze the hell out of my mid shoulder blade. So I'm going to go elbow as high as possible, trying to get my thumb into my armpit, okay, without bending my wrist too much. So drive your thumb up to your armpit as hard as possible. Then what I want you to do is tuck your elbows into your back pocket. Okay, if you can go higher, keep trying to squeeze, keep trying to squeeze, keep trying to squeeze. Don't raise your neck, don't rest it on the bench. Okay, you should be free floating. We need some good neck work like that because we're too much poke necking it on the cell phone and the driving. Now that's a flat rhomboid hold. Maybe I should do incline every once in a while. Again, elbow as high as I possibly can, trying to get my thumb into my armpit, tuck my elbows into my shoulder or into my back pockets. And again, I'm going to hold that. The higher I go, the more it's going to be higher traps. Okay? So elbow way back, thumb into the armpit, tuck my elbows into my back pocket, and I'm going to hold that. All it's going to help you do is build the endurance of your posture muscles that pull your shoulder blades back, because too many of us slouch forward. Okay, so that's a rhomboid hold. Now let's take a trip back to 2nd grade. Wall sits suck. Okay, so wall sits are easy. Okay, you should do them while you're watching TV. Now here's the thing about a wall sit, and I want to see it from the side. Okay, is I'm looking for the weight to stay in the middle of my foot or the middle of my shoe. I don't want it too much in my heel. I don't want it all in my toe. So what happens is, generally speaking, I've got 90 degrees at the ankle, 90 degrees at the knee, 90 degrees at the hip. It's okay that there's a little bit of curvature in the lower back, just not excessive. Where wall sits always go wrong is people do this. Okay? Use the posture. I want your head against the wall. Now when you can hold this longer than 2 minutes, you're not getting anything out of it. Your lactic acid tolerance is okay. When that happens, can you hold one leg, okay, without dipping? Can I hold shoulders and your head to do that. Now, how low should you go? One of my favorite coaches said it best. He said, water should be able to run off the thigh. I think that's a good angle for us to work at. It's kind on the knees. I'm not using a lot of hip. If for some sport-specific reason you need to be below parallel, fine. Other than that though, water off the knee, okay? Glute bridge, single leg. We need to do a million glute bridges in our life, okay? Holding though is a little bit different. So, glute bridge. Get rid of the arch in your back first. I'm going to bridge up. I want knee, hip, and shoulder to be straight, okay? Now that's pretty simple. I might be able to hold that for a great deal of time. What you're trying to do is de-emphasize the amount of lower back that's being used and work on the clench of the bottom of the butt. So I'm going to hang out here for what, 20 minutes? Finally get bored enough to stop. Or I'm going to focus on my pelvic point, so the bony part of your pelvis, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to straighten one leg without that collapsing. So again, flatten the arch or get rid of the space in your lower back. Two-leg bridge. Try to keep those pelvic points even. This is a lot harder than this is, but try not to compensate. Okay? Is your belt even? Again, hip bridge, straight leg, hold. Okay? It's very challenging to do that. And if somebody tends to squat where their hip shifts or their knee shifts when they're doing stuff, glute bridge iso holds are a good way to go. Okay, so standing up. The last one, it's good to see this from a top-down view. I like side planks. I prefer, if you're really going to work on the obliques, to do it from a straight arm, and I did that in a core video. Star side plank, however, really brings everything together. Inner outer thigh, shoulder girdle, serratus, all that kind of stuff. So, side plank, I'm going to show you the hard version. Star side plank. First off, elbows should be a little bit in because as I go up, I'm also going to go away. So, star side plank. I'm up, I'm hip out, my head is back. Here's where the star comes in. Okay? I'm trying to get my nose, sternum, belly button, pubic bone region to be relatively straight. I don't want it low, I don't want it high, I want the body to be straight. Okay? That might be too hard for some people. I understand that, it's fine. So I'm going to show you side plank from the knee. I'm also going to do either a straight knee or bent knee when it comes to the leg portion of that. So when I go up, is my elbow under my shoulder? I don't care what you do with the hand this way, whatever's comfortable on the shoulder. Push the belly button forward. Get your head in line with the rest of your spine, arm, knee, or straight leg if you want to progress it. Okay, so those are the downs. For all of them, if you can hold them longer than a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, they're useless. Don't stop using them. What's the point? You can add more weight on things like rhomboids, that's fine. Push-ups, you can progress to one arm. What are you going to sit against a wall for 5 minutes where there's no reason? Okay? But get there first. That's the hard part. Any questions? Post them.